In this video, we're going to take a look at the 5 mind games that narcissists will play with you. Being with a narcissist, whether it be in a romantic relationship or as a friend or even working with them, leaves you infuriated in the end. This has got to do primarily with the fact that they have a lot of ways in which they can manipulate you. They also play a lot of mind games, which can be benign at the start, but will only develop as a malignant tumor as the days go by. But what exactly are the nature of these mind games that the narcissists play with you? We'll take a look at them shortly, but before we do, we'd like to remind you that we bring these videos to you for free. And in our effort for the world to understand the people around them better, we would like you to join us. You can do so simply by subscribing to our channel and hitting the notification bell. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're all set, let's move on to the mind games that narcissists will play with you. 1. They tend to isolate you. Isolation is the most common of the mind games that a narcissist plays with you. And it goes without saying that this is often the most harmful as well. You might already know that a narcissist is more or less a control freak. They want to let you know the type of people you can or can't hang out with, where or when you can go out to relax, and even push it to the point where they command you which of your relatives are a harmful influence on you. In order to prove their point, they might also concoct some fake evidence and twist the words of others for their benefit. What this really does is debilitate any form of trust you might have with the people you grew up with, develop some resentment towards the place you grew up in, and you might also find yourself abandoning the closest ones to you. We saw this in the case of Meghan Markle, who is often considered to be a narcissist. She drove Prince Harry to a country with which he had virtually no ties with, leaving behind the place he grew up in and the people he grew up with. The effects of isolation will hit you hard when your relationship gears towards an end. When you finally figure out the deep fissures that were always present in your relationship with the narcissist, you will feel more broken than ever as you won't have the comforting support of your loved ones. 2. You will put up with many rules. The idea of having many rules within a relationship when the two of you have barely begun knowing each other is quite preposterous. One might as well say that the two of you need to mutually figure out the interests of each other, your likes and dislikes, as well as points of comfort. And the rules of a relationship are often left unsaid, as these are discoveries to be made and felt rather than expressed outright. But when you are with a narcissist, you will feel that there will be too many rules to put up with from the start. They don't want you to dress a certain way, or they don't want you to move a piece of furniture to where they don't like it. You talking to a family member or a close friend whom the narcissist doesn't like is a burden. And so is wearing slippers to the kitchen or even waking up in the middle of the night for a night stroll. In other words, you feel that the house of your relationship is walled with too many rules that you can't, first, remember all the time, and second, put up with. Since every human being craves for freedom and independence, you'll feel some suffocation when a narcissist, as the weight of the rules becomes much too burdensome. 3. Playing the victim card. As far as the narcissist goes, he or she is someone without a blemish in their character. And it goes without saying that whenever something goes wrong in your relationship with them, it is not their fault. The fault was always yours, and they were the victim of your wrongdoing. The narcissist, in other words, the blameless ones, find it almost impossible to bring themselves to this admission that a relationship is an interacting system. In other words, a relationship is an environment that is to be nurtured and cared for by both people in that relationship. So the rewards of being in a relationship are to be shared by both of them, and so is the pain. But not in the eyes of a narcissist. Narcissists often project their bad behavior onto others. It doesn't occur to them in the least bit that you might be going through some distress. They might break down in front of you and cry, which makes you all the more guilty and want to console them. You also might have the false impression that the narcissist has been hurt more than you. Sometimes having superficial tears helps them get away with certain things too. 4. They'll find out your weak spots. Every person is a mixture of strengths and weaknesses, but a narcissist is more interested in your weaknesses than your strengths. That's because they feel that the more weaknesses you have, the more they can use them to manipulate you. Assessing your weaknesses also lets the narcissist know whether you're an ideal victim. If you are someone who is robust and marks your boundaries well, then this mind game will not affect you too much. Identifying your weak spots will also let the narcissist know whether they can push you over or abuse you. It is the information about your weak spots that lets a narcissist provoke you by bringing up instances from the past that have severely affected you. 5. They will provoke you. Provocation is amongst the most pleasurable of the mind games for the narcissist. They will toy you around like a cat which is jabbing at a mouse. After knowing your little secrets from the past, they'll constantly bring those up in uncomfortable situations. A narcissist also has the tendency of telling you that you're not worth a lot or that you can't do something. This makes you really mad and irritable. This is something that a narcissist delights in. Narcissists have a lot of mind games they play. It is these games that you'll eventually get fed up with and decide to break the relation with them for good. Many people who've come out of a relationship with them often find these games to be too childish. But when you've not had a first-hand experience with these games, you might get drawn into them. So, it is necessary for you to identify these games and see whether these games are affecting you in an overly negative way. If you found these videos exciting, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to our channel to not miss out on new videos. In the meanwhile, you can watch the video on the screen.